Hey everyone, continuing onward here in Cannes, and I'm here with Flavio Marcondes from RBI. Flavio, thanks so much for coming on with me. Appreciate it.
Hey Matt, nice to meet you and very good to be here with you guys.
Good to be with you. So, if you can, tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe a little personal. We won't get too personal, I promise. And then just your professional career path, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, good. So I'm Flavio, I'm from Brazil, Carioca from Rio de Janeiro. I've been in this industry, the insights industry for, I would say that a little over than 20 years and enjoying a lot. So now I'm based in, I've been handling insights in different areas, different companies. So I started in Coca-Cola, Brazil. In Brazil, I also worked in Unilever before Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
in São Paulo. So I'm from Rio. And then I moved to Costa Rica, stay in Costa Rica for six years, also working with Latin America overall, and then took the decision to change after 16 years in Coca-Cola. Took the decision to change a little bit my life, so I changed the industry. So I just went to RBI in the QSR industry, which we used to work at Coca-Cola, but as a partner. But now, leading this industry is very interesting to see the changes. And nowadays, I'm based in Switzerland. The last 4 years, I'm based in Switzerland.
All the different places that I would like to go. Switzerland, I've gone, but probably not seen nearly as much as I should. And Brazil, I was telling you on the walk over, I'd love to go. Costa Rica as well. So might be calling you for some tips, hopefully in the future with that.
Absolutely.
But so thinking about your pathway and your career and working at Coca-Cola and now RBI, and I love how you brought up that like, hey, it was QSR that you had some of that integration at Coca-Cola, but obviously in a different way. And as we think about insights and all the discussion we've had around insights here, I'd really like to understand, what do you think you'll take with you from Coca-Cola with regard to insights and how you're running your business, and then what might you leave behind or try to do differently?
Yeah, this is very interesting because in Coca-Cola, they say that instead of blood, I have Coca-Cola in my veins.
Okay.
Right? So it was a very, very good experience because I would say that I learned everything that I know in Coca-Cola. So a lot of it is a company, it is a benchmark in terms of not only brand centric but consumer centric. So everything in Coca-Cola is done first. We used to think first in the humans, and then how we can bring solutions to the humans need.
Mm.
So I think that it was a very good school, and I think that in Coca-Cola you can do a lot of big stuff also that has a lot of impact because it is beyond the product, right? It is very emotional, and this is something that it is very important.
Mm.
And with this transition, what I think that my previous life helped a lot was in terms of how to put and how to make sure that everything that we do is consumer centric.
Mm.
In RBI, I joined RBI just to start the area, to start the insights area, and it was the company always performed very well, but they needed to step up in terms of the way that we operate because it was very product centric,
Mm.
right? So as in the QSR, we own also the channel. So it is very easy, just to create new things, create new stuff, implement in the market, see whether or not it works. And then you see, but for what we are doing that, right?
Mm.
So the way that we are doing today is basically, okay, let's understand the guests, let's understand the consumers, and then based on their needs, let's create something, narrowing their needs to make sure that we are going to succeed in connecting with them.
So going from what sounds like product led to consumer led,
Exactly.
how are you trying to implement that change and get the people there, leadership, but also everyone around that supports the business to really embrace that? Is
Yeah.
that something that you found challenging, or how have you been handling that?
Absolutely, yes. And as you know, when we are changing the culture of the organization, it's never easy, and it is not fast that it can happen.
Mm.
The good thing is that the leadership had clarity that in order to step up the business, we needed that. So it was a sort of a top-down decision, and now either you're like or not, you have to implement. But even with that, I think that the organization bought very well the area, but there are a lot of things that needs to be changed. So at the end, again, it is very difficult also to understanding these type of organizations, the meaning of the insight. Insight can be, I mean, the definition of insights for me is different than for you. So it is very broad.
Sure.
So by the time that everybody understands that we need to understand what the guest needs. So this is the need. So and then we can translate that to absolutely different actions to make sure that we are going to connect with them in the right way.
Having that support from the top must be crucial. It's great that you have that. How much time are people willing to give for things to change? Do you feel pressure in terms of when is this change from product led to consumer led going to really kick in, or are you seeing it kick in already and it's paying dividends?
No, I think that the way we are today, we are in a good position because as I mentioned, so the organization embraced this change. And one thing that I see a lot of different organizations struggling is when the insights area or in the insight team has no place in the table, on the table to the discussion. Again, I don't know whether it was very clear to the leadership that it was a must-have area. So I never faced this type of problem. So it is very important because we are together with the leadership team just taking the decisions. So I would say that today is paying off. It's been 4 years in this journey, and is paying off. Is it perfect? Obviously no, but that's why we are here. So for sure, year by year we are going to improve the way that we operate with this organization.
Wow, that's great. As we begin to close out and thinking about perfection and striving for perfection, you often hear the terms, 80-20, let's do it 80% of the way there. That's a whole different type of cultural embracement, if you will. When you think about how it's happening and the speed of it's happening, the change in your business at RBI, is that something that is also being bought into, like the idea that it doesn't have to be perfect? Because it's come up here a lot at Insights Lighthouse.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest, I used to face this type of perfectionism more in my previous life in Coca-Cola than here. So again, the business model is very different. As I mentioned, so as we have, the channels, we operate with the channels, we own the channels. So we can see, everything, the reaction very fast. So I think that this mindset of it is good enough to make progress. I think that it is even before I joined was embedded in the organization.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
one thing that for me is and culturally speaking, I guess that this is one of the biggest changes because yes, at RBI things happen very fast. So you just need to prove by numbers and by the consumer understanding that it is that direction. By the time that the leadership buy it, man, it's very fast that we can implement those things.
Excellent. Well, hey, I really appreciate your time today. We're losing our cloud cover a bit, so I think we better wrap it up. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.